Good morning, Rabbi. How are you? Rabbi, I have a really serious question.
Which question isn't serious?
I feel bad for the 8th day of Hanukkah because we light the menorah
You
at
should
the
feel,
start of the 8th day. And then it just seems like the 8th day gets forgotten because there's no Havdalah for conclusion. It's just
what?
after we light,
Start again.
I said I feel bad for the 8th day of Hanukkah.
Why do you feel bad for the idea of Hanukkah? It should be
Because-
good for them, feel
No,
wonderful.
because after we light the candles to start the 8th day, it's just like, all right, Hanukkah's over.
No, it's not.
It's not, but I don't know. It just
That's why you light 8 candles.
Well, yeah. but
If you
then-
said 7 candles, it's over. Therefore, you light the 8th candle because it's not over.
Yeah, but then it's like, I don't know. I feel like the day part of the 8th day gets forgotten.
Okay, well, you can give Hanukkah gelt tomorrow too.
All right.
I'll accept tomorrow.
Yeah. Hey, Anna. It's okay. I have the dollar in my iPad. Yeah, it's in here.
You have to have the dollar in your heart.
Rabbi. Please.
Like the candle, you have to light the candle, right? We want to light candles in every city hall, in every home, in every window. But more important is every heart, right? That's where the candle has to be lit.
This is why I come to.
And that's to stay lit the whole year. It's not over. It's never over. Malka, it's never over. Malka Levana.
When I was driving
The
back.
moon has to shine.
Hey.
The sun has to shine. The moon has to shine.
When I was driving back last night.
When it's dark, that's when the moon shines. Yeah.
There were so
Hey.
many menorahs. So many. When we were driving through Manhattan and Brooklyn, it was like every few minutes. Menorah, menorah, on a car, on a street, on a corner, on Grand Army Plaza. On windows, crazy. It was like literally, my check times was like,
Lighting up the world.
they were everywhere. It was amazing.
The Rebbe is lighting up the world. Today's Monday. Talia is not here.
She's on her way back.
She's on her way, but from where?
She went home.
Where's home?
Mequon.
Wisconsin.
Mequon, yeah? Oh, Rappaport.
Yeah, Mequon. They're my-
Sarah?
They're related to one of my shulchan. I think. Probably.
Bina, no. Circa, no. Malka, I think Malka's here.
Yeah, she came.
Okay. Ariel,
Nah,
not yet.
she's taking the L right now.
Anna's here, yes. Okay, Sarah Abigail, no. Sarah Mara, yes. Tova,
Here.
with a good name. And Leah from Brazil,
Which Leia from Brazil?
Brinstein. That's it?
Me.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Bracha Simcha. Hey, Ariel, Baruch Hashem. Okay. Chapter 4. I went yesterday, my son, his name is Meir, which means to shine, lit a menorah in a community near LaGuardia Airport. And there's no shul there, the shul closed. There's the remnants of a Jewish community, some elderly people, and a group of people, I found out, many of them came here from Russia and Ukraine. And one of the girls, a young lady there, was there with her mother. And we spoke in front of the menorah, and she said she wants to come to class. I said, but it took me an hour to get to this place. And I don't think you can commute that much every day, but you can go on Zoom. So she's going to call up Rabbi Majeska and go on Zoom. I said, what's your name? She said, Deanna. I said, you mean Diana? She said, no, Deanna. And I happened to have met somebody else who also whose parents are from, hello, This is Miss Menashe, Yachaya Menashe. Yes? And her name is Diana. So I discovered that in Ukraine, they name their children Diana, right? Not Diana. Diana was an English princess who came to a tragic end. But Diana is a... How do you like that? Another piece of information stored away. You never know when it'll come in handy. You keep it in there's a certain place in the brain where you file away information that might someday be useful to know.
Everything you tell me is useful in that Rama.
Okay, chapter 4, fascinating chapter. One of my favorite chapters in the whole Tanya. When I learned this chapter, I became so, at the first time, I was so excited. I was thrilled. It was like opening up a new world. Okay, so we've learned that we have two nefashos, a nefesh elokis and a nefesh bahamis. And we have 10 faculties, which are the makeup, the DNA of these nefashos, and they are divided into 2 parts. 3 mothers and 7 days of creation, which filter down until they come into our psychology, our psychological makeup as 3 aspects of the brain, intellect, the seat of the intellect, the organs in our body that function for the intellect. That is to say, if the power of Chachma in your soul needs to express itself, it's going to express itself through Chachma in your brain. In other words, like you wear a pair of gloves, winter is trying to come. Baruch Hashem, it's not really making it. I think the global warming is helping us out this year because we didn't really have any terribly cold days, just a few, good wind. But you buy a pair of gloves, glove has to have 5 fingers because your hand has 5 fingers. So the power of Chachma in your brain has to go through Chachma. The power of Chachma in your soul has to come through the Chachma in your brain. The vessel for Chachma in your brain, the physical Chachma. So they have 10 spheres, okay? And these 10 spheres are in the godly soul, and they're in the animal soul too. In the Maimorim in Yiddish, I don't think they've been translated into English. They're easy Maimorim in Yiddish. If you have a girlfriend or a mashpia or an older girl who works with you, sometimes, they match up girls in seminary or girls in high school with you girls that you can learn together. See, yet somebody knows how to read English, read Yiddish. You could learn these Maimorim. The Rebbe said them in the 1940s when he first came to America. So America was like a barren place. There was no Hasidus here. The Rebbe had to begin, the previous Rebbe had to start introducing Hasidic ideas, Hasidic philosophy from the scratch, the ABC of Hasidus in these Maimorim called Yiddish Maimorim. They're basic, they're easy, they're fundamental ideas. They're great to learn. So he explains these 10 spheres, how they are in the godly soul, how they are in the animal soul, how they are in the intellectual soul. Oh, Sophia, I got to mark you present.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I'm so glad you're here. I'm so glad you're all here. One of the latest themes of Chabad these days is inclusiveness. We want to include everybody. We don't want to be exclusive. We don't want to be an exclusive elite. We want to be inclusive, to find a way that everybody, this is what the Rebbe always does. He finds a way to bring out the usefulness in everyone. Okay, so chapter 4, in addition to what we've learned so far, Yesh l'kol, oh, and by the way, I just want to emphasize that in the last chapter we learned, remember that we did this whole thing of how if you have a project, it's got to go through all these 7 midas, and how it gets from Chabad into your heart, which is the source of your midas, as to say, source of all your active motivators, activating engines in your heart. You have to have das. Das is knowledge. Knowledge connects what you know with what you do. If you know a lot and you do nothing, that means you don't know anything. Knowledge is the connector. The word in Hebrew is hitkashrut, from the root kesher, which means a connection. Kesher is also a knot with a K. Knot with a K. Knot. That's from the German, old German language, knot. They pronounce the K. Into the present day, that's how they do it. So since the country that's called England today was originally settled by Ashkenazic tribes, according to the Torah, they were called Ashkenaz, and they were the Celts and the Jutes, and the Angles and the Saxons. These were 4 tribes. And that's where Anglo-Saxon comes from. That's right. And they spoke Germanic. And in 1066 of the Common Era, the King of France needed money. That's behind it all, the root of all evils. He needed money, so he took his army, sailed across the English Channel, and he invaded England. And he conquered these Germanic tribes and subdued them, subjected them, made them into serfs. And he and his cohorts took over the land, and they became the lords of the land. And they took each huge sections of land unto themselves and built huge mansions to live in. And they put all the workers, all the people to work. And this continued in English society to the present day. You have the upper class, which descends from them, and you have the working class, and they're always fighting each other. Labor, maybe aristocracy, the remnants of the aristocracy of England, and you have labor in England. So that's how we have a mixture in English of a lot of Germanic words, like not with a K is a Germanic word. And we have a lot of French words in English because they were the French became the aristocracy, the new aristocracy. And when they indulge themselves they have the land, so they have a lot of money. Because you see, nowadays, you probably noticed the price of food, price of everything is going up, right? I can remember, I love cucumbers. So I used to buy cucumbers at 69 cents a pound. Used to buy them at 25 cents a pound, and 69, then 79.99. Last time I was in the vegetable store, there was $1.49. That's in the last 6 months, last 3 months, just about. And why is that? Because America is hugely in debt. Hugely in debt. We're bankrupt. America's bankrupt. So what do they do to pay their debts, to keep the creditors at bay? They print more money. Print more money. But there's the money. What is money? Money is like a check. Write a check on your bank account. You have to have money in the bank to write a check, right? But if you own the bank, so you don't need to have the money there. You just write. But there's nothing to back it up. So that's why, since they're just printing money, the money has less value. But land doesn't have less value. So if you own the land, it's like gold. Gold doesn't lose its value. So here are these people, the aristocracy, they still own huge portions of England. Why do I mention all this? I used to live there, so it was very interesting to me to as a student of English, to see this in the language, that we have so many French words in the language because of the French invasion that took place. And we have a lot of Germanic words because they became the working class. So what happens when the aristocracy, so the upper class, indulge themselves in all kinds of parties and debaucheries, and they become, the English word for it is effete. Can't do anything for themselves. So what do? So some energetic young people from the lower classes, they marry in. They take them, they marry them in, and they use their energy to keep themselves going. That's the way it goes. Okay, so we have these two aspects of the soul, each of which has 10 faculties, the godly soul, the animal soul. And now the next idea we're dealing with is that the soul has garments. The garments of the soul is a fundamental idea that's going to come up again and again and again and again. The garments of the soul, just like you choose garments. Sarah Abigail, good morning. Welcome for coming. Thank you for coming. Don't ever be shy, girls, about coming late, because there might be a joke coming up just as you come in. And you wouldn't want to miss it.
Maybe you're better at Did you grow up in the United States, or you just went to college in England?
I never went to college in the United States. I grew up in Toronto, and then I went to college. I went to university in England. Okay, now your garments make a statement about you to the world. Everybody sees how you dress, just like you see how other people are dressed. And I'm sure you've got to the point when you see people the way they dress, you make judgments about them because they're telling you who they are and what they believe in or what they don't believe in. The way they wear their hair and the way they wear their colors, the clothes they wear, and the modesty or lack of it in the clothes that they wear. So your garments make a statement to the world that you believe in God. So really, you're like broadcasting very, very loud to the world around you, which has lost track of these values. Go online and go under garments, look at 19th century, and look how beautifully people dressed in the 19th century and the 1800s. But they were very expensive clothes. Working people didn't dress like that. That was upper class. I remember there was a store, this is an aside. There was a store in London when I lived there called Harrods, very well-known store. People do a lot of shopping there. And they interviewed one time a salesman there or a manager, and they asked him, would you say that you cater to the upper middle class? The upper middle class. And he said, definitely not. We cater to the lower upper class. So the way people dress makes a statement about who they are and what they believe in. So since you dress according to the guidelines of the Torah, you don't have to say a word. You walk in the street in Manhattan, you go on the subway, walk around here in Brooklyn, you are broadcasting, just like some people go by in motorcycles, or they have cars with huge speaker systems in their cars, and they lower the windows and they're blasting away. Well, you know what? You're also blasting away, only you don't make noise. And the message you give out has an effect in the whole world. That there is a God and there are standards and there's morality and there's ethics. So it's great. So this is the effect of garments. And the garments of the soul are expressed in what you do. Your actions, the things you do with your hands, the things you do with your feet, the way your body moves, the way you hold yourself. Proud, but modest. The way you speak, that's the second garment. The way you speak. And we learned in chapter 1 that the animal soul, the speech of the animal soul, will be like gossip, slander, bragging, making a loud noise, talking nonsense. That's how the animal soul speaks. And the godly soul speaks with words of Torah, words of encouragement, words of comfort, words of wisdom, words of prayer. Right? These are garments of the soul. Then there's another garment that isn't so obvious. That's how people think. In literature, sometimes the author will tell you what the people think. Usually you have to figure it out by yourself because people don't say things that they don't think about first. So a person makes a cruel joke, making fun of somebody else. He didn't just make it up on the spot. He thought about it before. You don't say anything you didn't think about before. So these are the garments: thought, speech, and deed. Machshava is thought, speech is dibur, and action is maisa. And how do they express themselves? Look here in the second set of lines, chapter 4, page 76. These are the three garments of the soul that the godly soul expresses itself with these three garments as they flow through the framework of the 613 commandments. The way we do them, the way we speak about them, because not all the commandments can we do anymore. Most of the commandments of the Torah we cannot do. That's part of our exile, because most of the commandments of the Torah can only be done in the Beis Hamikdash when the people are in a state of ritual purity. And many of them can only be done like Shemitah. Is a Shemitah year? We can't really keep Shemitah according to the Torah. We can only keep it according to the way the rabbis advised us how to keep it, so that we won't forget about it. But to keep Shemitah according to the Torah, we have to have all the Jewish people living in the land of Israel. We have to have a complete Israel and a complete Jewish people in order to keep the complete Torah. They go together. So most of the commandments of the Torah we can't even keep, but those we can keep, those are how our godly soul expresses itself in action. What do we do about the mitzvahs that we can't keep in action? Well, we can keep them in speech, learn about them, understand them. Think about them. When we think about them, that's the third garment of the soul, what we think. Now, fasten your seatbelts. Third set of Hebrew lines. This is the picture of the complete person, the complete person. There used to be books in English like The Complete Fisherman, The Complete Angler, The Complete this, The Complete that. This is the complete person being described right here. What is a complete person? It's ha'adam makayim, when a person will fulfill b'maisa, in action, kol mitzvahs maisis, all the mitzvahs that are things that you could do. When the person will do all the things that the Torah asks of him to do, ubedibur, and with his faculty of speech, hu isek befeirush kol hatariag mitzvahs, he is occupied with learning and teaching about these 613 mitzvahs, and all the details of the mitzvahs, which are called the halachas, the way we keep them. So that's speech. Page 77 at the top. Uba machshava, and with his thoughts, whom masik, he understands, kol mashev shalai as much as is possible for him, lahasik, to understand in the Torah, in the garden of the Torah, the pshat, remez, drush, and soid of the Torah, which is called the garden. Now, the word for the garden of Torah, that's an expression, the garden of Torah. He understands everything that's possible for him to understand in all the 4 levels of the Torah. Now, what are these 4 levels of the Torah? I'm going to skip that for a second. I'll come back to it, because I want to finish this idea that when a person is doing everything that's possible for him to do in the way of mitzvahs, and his speech is completely occupied in saying words of Torah. Like remember in the first chapter, first page, Rabbah, his mouth never stopped saying words of Torah. So the angel of death couldn't take him. His time was up, and he couldn't break in because he didn't stop saying words of Torah. Torah is life. Couldn't take him. Had to fool him and make him fall. And when he fell, tripped on a step. David HaMelech was the same thing. When he tripped on the step, he stopped saying words of Torah, and he nabbed him just like that. Like a fisherman catches a fish. He got him. That's it. Most of us, we're not on that level. So if he's doing everything he can do, and he's saying everything in a holy way, he's saying everything, nice words, kind words, friendly words, Torah thoughts, words of prayer, words of learning. That's his speech. That's his whole speech. Gossip, what doesn't cross his lips. Bragging doesn't cross his lips. Sarcasm doesn't know what that means. His words are holy words. Just look at the videos of the Rebbe. How so many people come to him all with their questions and their problems. He doesn't make fun ever of anybody. He just says encouraging things that lift up each person, no matter what level they're on. There's an extraordinary gem interview of a girl who lost her power of speech.
How do they interview that? I'm being serious.
You got to read the whole interview. She lost, a little girl. She got a bronchitis or something. She was coughing so much that she lost her power to speak and couldn't speak. And her parents, who were not Lubavitch, brought her to, they were like Borough Park, Orthodox. They brought her to the Rebbe. They had Yechidus, and they all spoke with the Rebbe. The Rebbe asked them to leave. Everybody leaves, should leave about her. And the Rebbe started speaking with her, and he just asked her, how are you? And she really couldn't speak, but she sort of said, Baruch Hashem. And he said, do you belong to Benos? I'm not sure what the Rebbe said from her interview. I imagine it was like this. Do you belong to Benos, which is a girls' organization in the school that she went to? She said, yes. He said, you like being in Benos? She said, yes. She said, she described it. She said, she felt like the Rebbe was pulling the words out of her. And he kept on asking her questions about what she likes to do, and what she would like to do when she grows up. And she said that she would like to be a Benos leader. And the Rebbe said, that's good. You should do that. And what would you like to do when you grow up? She said she would like to be a teacher, but her parents don't want her to be a teacher. They want her to go to work as a secretary, so she'll earn money, so she can have money to get married with. But she wants to be a teacher. She wants to teach children. And the Rebbe said, that's good. You should do that. About 20 minutes, the Rebbe was talking with her, and she was answering him. And every answer she got, her voice got stronger and stronger. And she came out, and the parents were plotting what is going on inside. She can't talk, and she's so long inside with the Rebbe. And she came out, and they said to her, what did the Rebbe say to you? She said, I don't want to tell you. They got crazy. They went crazy. She was talking. She was talking. You gotta see the interview. I'll look it up. I'll bring it to you. It's so moving. I cry when I read it. That's the power of speech.
And then from
In
then on,
action.
from that, you said history.
Yeah. Oh, then everything where she ended up. Then came a chance for her. They needed a volunteer to be a Benos leader a year or so down the line, and she jumped on it because Rebbe told her she should do it. It was good. And then she graduated high school, and she wanted to go to seminary to learn to be a teacher. And her parents wanted her to become a secretary, and the Rebbe told her that she should learn to be a teacher. And the parents said, "Well, we're not going to support you." She said, "Okay." She had the Rebbe's bracha. So she got a part-time job and she went to seminary part-time and she became what she wanted. And she finished up the whole description. She says, the miracle, the real miracle isn't that the Rebbe was able to make a little girl speak who wasn't able to. The miracle is that he enabled me to become what I want. It's a beautiful, beautiful interview. She lives in Pittsburgh. She's a mother of a family now.
Did she become Chabad or is she still?
Yeah. Was she devoted to the Rebbe?
I wonder if Mrs. Ruddle knows her. She was on Shofar.
What?
I wonder if Mrs. Ruddle knows her because Mrs. Ruddle was on Shofar.
For sure. For sure. You ask
You know
her.
her name? Can I write it down?
I forget.
I'll text Mrs.
I
Ruddle.
can find it very easily because then it's in my database of
You have a database?
unbelievable super stories.
You could interview me.
What?
Just interview me. Yes,
Okay,
Lord.
so this is the power of speech. So if a person is doing everything he can do, fasten your seatbelts, if he's doing everything he can do, and he's saying everything that's possible for a Jewish person that should want to say, and he's thinking about Torah and mitzvahs, then all his faculties are being channeled and directed through the 613 mitzvahs of the Torah. This is the complete Jew. He's not controlled by the Yetzer Hara. All his powers of life, all his life powers are being channeled through the 613 mitzvahs of the Torah, which connect him to the giver of the Torah. That's so beautiful. When I read that, I said, sign me up. I want to be on that team. Okay, a happy Hanukkah. Hanukkah is not over. Today is the culmination, is the brightest day of Hanukkah. Today, we've been building light. And now the menorah is blazing with light, completely lit. So here we go. Hanukkah Geld. Hanukkah Geld. Anna.
Well, thank you.
I can't get to anybody on Zoom. The Zoom doesn't take Hanukkah
Jesus,
Geld.
Rabbi.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Now, I heard a great story yesterday. I heard a great story yesterday that a young man that I know, his first Yechidus, he was with his father, his little boy, and the Rebbe asked him, do you give your children an allowance? The Rebbe said, do you give your children an allowance? He said, no. So you should give them an allowance because, so there's a lesson for you, because you're going to be mothers someday.
Amen, Rabbi.
Yeah, with that, but your children, so will learn to appreciate the value of money and what they can do with it. So you should give that. And the Rebbe, and when I heard this story, I remember that in the rallies, the Rebbe would never give one thing. He would always give two or sometimes three. He would say one is for you and one is for tzedakah.
Thank
So
you,
right
Rabbi.
away, so he said, my father used to give us a nickel. Every day would give us a nickel, and the other hand he had a pushka. So all our allowance went straight into the pushka. Here you go. So The dollar is Hanukkah Gel, and the other is just for you do whatever you want. What can you buy with the dollar?
Not cucumbers anymore.
Everybody got it? Everybody got it? Okay. Happy Hanukkah.
Happy Hanukkah.
Remember, the message of Hanukkah is always to grow and grow and grow in Torah and mitzvahs, always adding another and another and another. To light up the candle in your heart and to light up the candle in someone else's heart.
Huge misses and leading to
Have a good day.